Well, hello everybody, it's Sharon here from Essential Stencil. Well, I'm one of their ambassadors, but I'm actually from the blog I Restore Stuff, where you can follow me for any furniture painting and decor ideas and painting tips and refinishing your furniture, that kind of thing. So follow me over there at irestorestuff.com. irestorestuff.com. I don't think I said that properly. How are you all today? If you're watching the replay, let us know. Comment the word replay down below. I'm just checking out that, make sure we've got all our Facebook Live working properly, and so I can see your comments. And I'm so happy to be here with Essential Stencil, showing some of their stencils and transfers. As you know, some of you might know, we have the Christmas bundle has just been extended for an extra week, and so we've got 2 more days on that. So it's been extended all this week, so that's fantastic. Trying to find my live here. Yes, so there you are. Andrea's here, Kimberly, Linda, Kathy, I can see you. I can see your names now. All right, so I'm going to be doing some crafting this morning, a sign that I wanted to show you, a bit of a crate, and another fun sign. So I'll show you some of those things, just trying to find where I can follow along and make sure I can still also see comments. It's always a little crazy time here in Facebook land. Brenda's here. Also, you might be able to see, I've got a new stand over here that I found at a garage sale, a cute little plant stand. But I made this snowman last week on Essential Stencil with the Stencil of the Month Club set. I'm not sure if that's still available or going, or let's... I should have checked that out first. All right, let's see how we go here. Okay, I've got here some of the... Now, there are still some mega bundle sets, and so I've put a link there in the description of our live, which will be pinned to your top comments there shortly by Essential Stencil. And I have put there the mega stencil bundle. Actually, I've put the link for the whole 2025 Christmas collection. So from there, you'll see that there's only 12 mega bundles left, and that will include all of the classic Christmas bundles, which has sold out as a bundle by itself. But from what I understand, there's still 12 mega bundles, which includes everything left. So if you wanted to get everything and you still haven't got a bundle, snap that up pretty quickly. And I'm going to show you first, let me show you what I did want to do last week and didn't get a chance to do. And it's this most wonderful time of the year stencil sign, which I realised has sold out by itself singly, but they've kept some aside for the bundle. I think that's how it goes. So I'm thinking I've got that right. So if you do click on the mega bundle, that should still be available. Now, I found this canvas. It was just a canvas piece of artwork. And so I pulled off the canvas. So I don't know if you've seen me do these before. I've done quite a few of these on my lives. And I just take a staple remover, remove all the staples out of the canvas, take the canvas off. And then sometimes you'll find, usually you can tell if you look at the back of a canvas, I find them at thrift stores and places like that. You will find ones that are solid wood. So you don't want to get the ones that are MDF, because they're kind of like a cheap particle board that, you know, if it gets wet or anything, it kind of swells and it doesn't look as nice as the grain of the wood. So this one actually has some really nice beveled edges. I think you can probably see that. So this edge here is wider than this inside edge, and it sort of tapers in. So I really like this frame. It's got some lovely edges. So what I've done, it's usually just raw, and I just stained it in probably Fusion's Woodwick, which I love to water down and create a stain with, that brown colour. And I've created a fun frame. Then I simply got this plywood board, just a really super thin ply. Actually, this is MDF. So this, it doesn't matter if it's MDF or plywood or just a cheap, really solid board. So it's fairly thin. And I've just painted one side of it. So I got my husband to just cut that out so that it would fit this. And I thought that this stencil would be perfect for a nice large sign like that. You could create a nice fun farmhouse look. I don't know what that little bit is there, whether I can wipe that off or not. Looks like one of the nails from the back of the board might have scratched it, but it may not be seen. Let me see. No, it's covered up, so that's all good. And then once we're finished, we just staple that back onto staple it onto the frame with a proper, strong stapler. Hi Marcella, good evening. Hope everyone's had a great day too. It's morning here in Queensland, Australia, and it's quite a warm day today. We're getting up near 30 degrees Celsius. You'll have to look that up, what that is in Fahrenheit. I think it's up in the 90s. So quite a hot summer day. I should have turned the aircon on before I started. So I've painted this board in Fusion's Casement White, which is one of their whitest white. And so this is the stencil. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And so obviously we'll be doing that in a dark colour against the white. So I probably will just do that in black. And we want it nice and centred there, and then that'll make just a fun, great statement art piece or framed wording sign. All right, so I'm using I'll use a 5/8 inch brush, and I'm using Fusion's Coal Black, which is it's their true black. Whoop, I got too much out, so we just want to wipe that off on the edge of the board. I'm just going to pop my camera down a little bit so you can see more of what I'm working on. And don't forget, you can use my code at Essential Stencil. It's I Restore Stuff is the code, and that'll save you 10% on any of the Christmas things, including the mega bundle. Brenda said 86 is what Google says. So 86 degrees Fahrenheit is 30 degrees Celsius. So right here I said that it was 30 degrees in Brisbane, wherever I am. And it's only 10 o'clock in the morning, so it could get hotter. All right, so I'm just offloading a little bit of the, I think I have to move this across slightly, the paint on there. And I want to make sure I don't get any paint on the sides here, so I will just tape that down, as well as holding it in place. You might find painter's tape really good for making sure that you're not going to go with your brush over the edge of our stencil and onto the board in those places where the letters are a little bit closer to the board. So let's see how we go here. And now I can do a nice little swirling motion because I've got hardly any paint on the brush. And if you do look up the most wonderful time of the year stencil, you'll see that one's sold out, but it is still available in the mega bundle. Who got the mega bundle already has ordered that. Oh, Mary, it's 71 degrees there in California. That's nice, and it's a nice temperature. Be nice if it was that here right now. And in Queensland, our winters only get to as low as, we hardly ever get down to 0 degrees, and I'm not sure what 0 is. 0 is freezing temperature, so whatever your temperature is in freezing, and our 100 degrees Celsius is boiling point. So that's how we can kind of know, that's our system anyway. So freezing temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, so whatever your freezing temperature is, that's as low as it gets in Queensland, but hardly ever where I live. It honestly only usually gets to about 5 or 10 degrees Celsius. Hello, Erin. Hi, Karen. Thanks for jumping on and saying hello. Oh, someone got that. Kathy got the super mega bundle. Oh, right. That's great. So this one is just the mega bundle, which is all the stencils. So it doesn't include all the transfers because they have sold out of some of those transfer sets. They do still have some of the Scandinavian transfers left, which are absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping I can kind of use those today. Just going to add a little bit more dampness. What time is it in Australia? I'm in Michigan. Hi, Bonnie. The time here is 10. I started my live at 10 a.m., so it's 10:10 a.m. here on Thursday mornings. So that's when I go live, which is Wednesday night for you guys, 7 p.m. CST. So that's all I kind of know. And so each time I have to kind of change that up when you guys have daylight saving, and I have to figure out my time, and then it changes to 11 a.m. for me. So yeah, I have a little bit of a juggle in trying to, but I'm used to it now. I can kind of tell where I'm at. And then when I have to, I send Essentials Stencil the dates for when, you know, I send them pictures of what we did on our live so that they can use them for social media. And I always write down the date. And so that's always a tricky juggle in my head, because I've actually done the live on the Thursday, which today is the 23rd of October. But for you, the live was the 22nd of October. So I have to remember, change the date back to the day before. And then I have to remember that your date format is completely different to the way we write dates here in Australia. So we write day, month, year, which for us, that makes sense. You have the day is shorter than a month, which is shorter than a year. But you guys, you just change things up a bit and you write the month first and then the date and then the year. So I have to get that around in my head and interpret it all and then put it down on the post. So Kathy, it's 8:11 there for you guys. So you must be in a different zone than Central. I just know to kind of go by that one. So your daylight time ends the first week in November. So that's the other thing I have to remember, is to make sure I notice when everyone's saying, hey, the daylight savings change. When I watch, I usually can tell. I can look it up on Google, but I usually can tell by, you know, you're seeing posts on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and people talking about, oh, time change this Sunday. And so I have to deal with that. I'm just lucky that we don't have daylight saving change time here in Queensland. We do in the southern states. They have just changed to their summertime a couple of weeks ago. And so then we have to remember, we sort of live a little bit close to the border. Then when we cross the border into the next state south of us, which is New South Wales, that they're an hour ahead of us. Also, my sons who live in Melbourne, they're on that summertime as well, so they are on daylight saving time right now, and so they're an hour ahead, so it's 11 a.m. for them. So that would be even more confusing, and another thing for me to think about. Marcella, you really love the Super Mega Bundle. So this one will be in the Mega Bundle that is still available. There's only 12 of the Mega Bundle left, and so this one you will find in that set, but I've been longing to try this with this nice big signboard that I have. So I think it'll look great. Let me just see, make sure I don't need a second coat or anything. I think that's covered really well. Maybe just this little part of the O. Let me just get that. Sometimes when you lift it up, you can just see a part that wasn't really solid in all of the corners and all of the curves. So just got to make sure that that's all looking great. And I think that will be wonderful. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And if you wanted to, you could also fill in the little, what do you call those, bridges, to make it with our little detail brushes that we have here. They come in a set of 5. And sometimes they go out of stock real quickly, and I haven't had a chance to kind of look on there to see if they're back in stock. But I just dipped a little bit in there, and I'll show you how you can just touch up on these letters so that you can create instead of having those little gaps, you know, where the stencil bridges are, you can fill those in quite easily with the detail brushes. Let me know if you've got the detail brushes there. Oop, there we go. So you can just keep going along with this, but I can finish this off later because I want to take my time doing this. I don't want to rush it because otherwise I get it just slightly out of the edge, and that annoys me. So you can see how now we've got those bridges filled, it gives it a lot more of a continual look there. Just making sure I got that. Yep, I'll do the rest of that later because that will take some time to just fill in all those gaps. But let me show you what it looks like now with this gorgeous frame back over the top of it. Now I haven't even sealed the stain on this frame, so I probably will do that first, give it a nice sealer or a waxing, and that'll make it really pop out. But look how gorgeous that is going to look when it's all stapled back in to the frame. Ta-da! Most wonderful time of the year. So we'll put that one aside and let's get started with our next project here. And let's see what I've got. I do have a crate here. That'll be fun to do as well. See if we've got time for that in a minute. I'm just going to pop my black brush in a plastic in case we need to use that one again. And I've just found a sign at one of our craft stores here in Australia, so it won't be the same ones as you have over there. But I'm sure there's something similar wherever you shop. Hobby Lobby, Michael's, all the places. Here's the Scandinavian transfers. Aren't they just adorable? And I've cut a lot of mine out, but they've still got some really cute sayings on there. Just going to take this off. So I've also got, now there is the classic Christmas bundle has sold out, but the sweet, I don't know what it's called now, hang on, let me just go to it and refer to it right here. It's called the Merry and Sweet stencil bundle that this one is in. Merry and Sweet Christmas bundle, and it's called Oh Snap Gingerbread, or you can buy this one individually. And I'm going to use that just as words. So I hope you notice that a lot of the words aren't necessarily Christmas related. Maybe the gingerbread cookie company, that would be like something you'd make at Christmas. But the rest of the words, we've got fresh baked, we've got a beautiful bowl, we've got rolling pin, all the images, we've got baked with love, sugar and spice, oh snap, sweet treats. Now this does look absolutely amazing as a sign just like this, but I'm going to use those words as if they're just words for my sign here. So let's see how we can go on that. And I thought of, see, we can even leave gingerbread behind and say cookie company across here. We've got baking company. We've got sweet treats. We could add that here. And then sugar and spice can fit nice and centered down the bottom. So we've got like some sweet sayings there. And then we'll see what else we can fit around the sides. I did think of maybe using some of these oranges from the Scandinavian set as little decorations on there. But we'll see, or we may just use some of these. So we'll see what room we've got. I think we'll start with Cookie Company over here. So we're leaving off gingerbread. So see how you can just add them to all sorts of things. I'm going to put it over this side, and that leaves room for a little something on there. I'm going to use Fusion's Casement White to do my words on this nicely stained board. So I've just stained that using a wash. So I've added water to Woodwick, which is a Fusion colour. It's a brown colour, so I just add some water to it and it creates a stain wash. So the original look was this blonde pine here, and so now we've got the stained board there. And I've shown that on a lot of my lives, so we could... Oh, you're liking this one? Yeah, it's very cute. So the Merry and Sweet stencil bundle has a whole bunch in it. Plus you get the bonus stencil, which is exclusive just to that bundle. So this is the Merry and Sweet bundle, and we've got this exclusive stencil, which is the whole North Pole Gingerbread Cookie Company. So very cute. Love this sign. So that one's exclusive to the bundle. If after the bundle sales are over, if they have still got that left, they will sell them possibly singly, but you can't be guaranteed to get that one unless you order that big bundle right now. Okay, getting another brush for this, and I'll use the 1/2 inch. And my cardboard, oh, here it is. I can use that. We're just dipping a little bit of white in the jar and then offloading it on here. And then I just kind of swirl it around and get most of the paint off. I can go back and pick up some of that paint when I need to dip it back in for another go. So we don't want to take it too close to the edge. About there feels right. So that's what we're going to go with. Cookie Company. Hello, Dorothy. Thank you so much for sprinkling. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, we love it when you guys sprinkle our lives out there. That means just hit that little share button and you can share it with your friends in Messenger, or you can just share it to your page or your group or your feed easily. And that lets everyone know that we're live right now. For those of you who sometimes say, oh, I missed the live this week or whatever, we are live at the same time every weeknight. So 7 p.m. CST, whatever that is, in your zone, time zone. Maybe you could set an alarm, or if you're not getting notifications, another way is to, on the Essential Stencil page, when you go to them on their Facebook page, there's a little button there that you can follow and get all of their video notifications when they go live. So if you need help with that, you can message me or just Google that and just say, how do I see all of a page's Facebook lives? And it will give you the steps that you can do on your page. All right. Oh, here I am upside down trying to hope that I've got this around the right way. I do. There we go. So we've got Cookie Co. So that fits nice and neatly on that line there. What was the other one I wanted to do? Sweet Treats. That'll fit here. And then we'll put Sugar and Spice down the bottom. So I'm just making sure that lines up with my board properly in the right space. I've moved it over this way in case we've got a little space there for something else. Now I haven't dipped my brush in the paint again, just seeing if I need to, and I do. So I'll just add a bit more. And offload the brush. And off we go with our sweet treats. Oh, Raquel, your Christmas stencils just arrived about an hour ago. Oh, tomorrow will be so fun in my craft room. I bet it will be. Crafting up a storm. Have you got enough boards and things to stencil on? Guys, you know you can stencil on all sorts of things. And the transfers. Last week I transferred 2 little birds on a watering can. It's a metal watering can, painted metal watering can. I've painted on fabric before, I've stenciled on jeans, I've stenciled on hats and transferred on hats. I've done tablecloths, table runners, tea towels, some great gift ideas for Christmas. Okay, so we've got our second word down there. And if you wanted to use some other colours for this, you could. You can add some colours, but I would probably put down white as a base to start with anyway, because then it makes your colours really pop on top of that, gives it some depth. Okay, so there we go, Cookie Co. Sweet Treats, and then Sugar and Spice down the bottom here. But there's so many other fun words, like oh snap, you could use that with a little gingerbread man on a little small sign. Lots of different options. Now I'm going to put this one in the centre, I think. Looks about right. Melissa says, when stenciling on fabric, do you use fabric paint and then heat set it? I actually just use the Fusion Mineral paints that I'm showing you with right now. Actually, if you do want the Fusion paints, you can use that same code, I Restore Stuff, at fusionmineralpaint.com, and you can save 10%. So I just use that, and I heat set it after I use the fusion. So as the name suggests, fusion really does fuse well to so many different surfaces, and that's why they've specifically made it for furniture, because old furniture especially, comes with all sorts of different wood surfaces or painted surfaces or shellac finished surfaces, and so they've created a paint that will cover and work with just about anything. So I've got a lot of those kind of tutorials and guides on my blog posts over at irestorestuff.com if you're interested in painting your own furniture. You can do that there. Lots of free info. But yes, if I'm doing it on fabric, I then just heat set it. You can either do 15 minutes in a hot dryer or, hottest setting that your fabric will allow. Or you can iron the back of it so that you're not ironing on the paint itself, you're just ironing on the back of it. Or you can put like a thin scrap cloth on top and then iron on that just to heat set it. And make sure it's a dry iron, not a wet iron. Andrew is asking, have you decorated for Christmas yet? Well, we haven't, but I love to decorate early. We usually do decorate early, sometimes October, end of October, sometimes early November. In November sometime before Thanksgiving, even though we don't celebrate Thanksgiving over here. Sometimes we love to celebrate Thanksgiving because my husband was born in America. And so we love to keep that tradition with the kids and the family and everything. But yeah, I haven't decorated for Christmas yet. Also, the other rule is that it was my daughter's birthday yesterday, October 22, it's actually today for you guys. It's actually my sister-in-law's birthday. So my daughter was born on her auntie's birthday, my sister-in-law who lives in North Carolina. And so we just called her this morning for her birthday. But the rule in our house is we're not allowed to decorate for Christmas until after the last birthday, which is Amber's birthday. So we can now decorate. We are now free to decorate for Christmas. Officially, my husband's groaning. Why? Because you have to jump up in the attic and get down the Christmas tree, don't you? All right, so there's our decorated sign. Let's see what else we can add to it. And this is in the bundle that is the Sweet and Merry and Sweet Christmas bundle. I was going to have a look at some of these Scandinavian transfers to see if some of them might work. Now, with this set, you get two I left this little guy inside. 2 large sheets, and there's 31 individual designs on those 2 sheets. They are the most adorable. I love them. Very pretty, very simple, very elegant Scandinavian designs. I was just wondering about these little oranges, see if they might look great on our sweet treat sign. Just a couple hanging up here maybe. Might have to put them on separately. It's one larger than the other, just slightly. So we could do this one and this one. And then, what else have we got that's small and tiny? We do have another one. Oh, there's these little ones. These might be cuter because they're a bit smaller. Isn't he just the cutest? And the snowman. And of course there's a little red car with a tree on top, and I just love the little Scandinavian designs painted on the car, which are very cute. And the house, the little cottage is cute. Lots of cuteness. Deer. It's just beautiful artwork. Okay, I think that looks great sitting up the top of there. Don't have a lot of room on this one. Maybe I could just do one singly. Find a little one. This one's a bit smaller. He could fit down there. Whoops. Oh wow, you've got family members that were all born on the same birthday too, Melissa. That's very cool. Big celebrations. Yeah, so that one fits right here. I think that's cute enough. I'm wondering if I need to move these in a little closer to each other, but I think they'll look great. Let's see how it turns out when I rub these on using my rub-on transfer tool. Actually, this one's going... The end of the, what do you call that? The string is a bit lower than these ones, so I'm wondering if I should cut them out individually so that they all sit at the top of the board. Although I'm not sure if it'll stand out so much at the top of the board. Let's do our center one first, and then we can put the other two either side of it. See how that works out. Rubbing it on and then peeling back the layers. Lovely. That is so sweet. We can put our next one beside it, hanging right next to it. Oops, probably should shift it along a little bit. We don't want those too close together. And last one next to this one. Oh, it is a bit smaller as well. Oop. Nearly laid it in the wrong place. So they're hanging from the top of the board. See if I can pull this down even further. Rub it down with my fingers afterwards. So there we go. Very cute. And then this one, put that on over here. Dried oranges. Imagine that would smell so nice in the house having these hung around. They are dried oranges, yes. Judy was asking, are they stars or the sun? The little dried oranges. You can see them there. These ones I've picked, the smaller ones have little bits of branch around them. These ones are just by themselves. Ta-da! And so you want it to look really clean, so there's nothing left on it. And I think that is going to be perfect. Cookie Company, sweet treats, sugar and spice. So see, that wouldn't even necessarily have to be Christmas related. So you can use some of the stencils, even the Christmas stencils, for year-round kitchen sign. So then I would probably seal that with just a wipe-on poly like Fusion's Tough Coat Sealer. And when you do use the sealer, it tends to lay down any of those. You probably can't see them until you get really close, but sometimes the transfers have a little bit of an edge around them, a clear edge. So that tends to all disappear once you put a sealer on top. So that's that. How fun. So I told you about the exclusive gingerbread cookie stencil as well. That is with the Merry and Sweet bundle. So we've done that, and we've got a bit of time left to do my fun little crate over here. So I've got a small crate from IKEA, small wooden crate, and I have stained that using, again, Fusion's Woodwick colour. I love that colour to use for stains. Also their chocolate colour works well for a walnut stain. I feel like this is more of a lighter driftwood stain. So I've just stained that. And also once you've washed your piece, washed as in a paint wash, once you've used a paint wash. Yes, Melissa, yes, you seal over the transfers. Yeah. yeah, so once you've sealed that, it will deepen the tone a little bit. So that looks quite chalky right now, but once I seal it, it will have a nice tone to it. All right, this time I'm going to be using this Christmas on the Farm stencil set, which has some gorgeous fun designs for sort of farmhouse related. And so let me show you what they are. Three signs. We've got Christmas on the Farm, Mooey Christmas, and Deck the Stalls. So those are the fun signs we've got on here. So I think I like Deck the Stalls is fun too, and they fit perfectly on this size small crate. So IKEA usually has a large crate and a small crate, and the small one fits inside the large one and sort of slides across with the little feet. It sits in there. I don't know, maybe we'll just do Christmas on the Farm. That will be fun. I don't know if I have to sort of lift this up a bit to get this on here. See if I can move this down slightly so that you can see close up. Oop. Tricky. All right, last one for today, I think. Let's see. Oh, and you could put little farm animals from our farm transfers on there. Do we still have farm transfers left in stock? That would be fun. Little cow or little pigs or little chickens on the side there, Christmas on the Farm. So I did bring some red and green, but if I do that on the box without sort of some white underneath it, might not work as well. So the very bottom of it is just in that gap there. So I want to make sure it's readable as Christmas on the Farm. So I'm just going to lift it slightly. So we don't want this to come over this edge. Just going to lift it slightly so it's not exactly centered top to bottom, but that it will fit that so that it's readable, properly readable. Okay, so we'll get our white paint out again and we'll use that as a base, and I may just use a shadowing technique today to kind of create a bit of a shadow in the background of our stencils. Oh, I'm wondering if our deer might fit beside it too. They could fit there, the Scandinavian deer. That would be cute. Even the little house. Is the house too big? Yes, this little roof's not going to be in the right place. Okay, let's get started over here. Creating a nice white base for our sign. I might leave some of it white, but maybe we'll just add a pop of red or green. What's your favourite out of the Christmas colours, red or green? Oh, who's decorating with some different colour this Christmas? I've seen some nice, blues for Christmas and pinks and all sorts of things. So let me know what you're decorating with for Christmas. What colour? Do you have a colour theme for Christmas this year? Let me know in the comments. Are you traditional, red and green, or do you like to change it up and add silver, gold, pink, blue, something else? Oh yeah, I saw Melissa do that one, Inez. Yeah, I saw her do a big pig or cow or something and then put the Christmas on the Farm, one of the signs in the middle. It was fun. This little crate would also be great for a small Christmas tree to fit inside, decorate for Christmas. Could use it to hold some pine cones next to the fireplace. All kinds of fun things. Or use it for a table centerpiece to hold some, utensils, napkins, outdoors for a barbecue. Lots of fun ideas for a little crate like this. And all three of those stencils would fit nicely on this one. The Mooey Christmas. You could fit your little cow on beside that. Okay, so we'll just take that off to show you. That's if you wanted to just use it plain white. Now my F for farm sort of gets lost in the crack there, but that's okay. I might see if I can try and get a little bit more on the bottom side of that. If I tip that down, move my angle of my brush so I can really get that on the inside. That'll be fine. Okay, so let's see, what have we got? Melissa wants to decorate with pink. You have 3 boys and a husband who would probably disagree. Oh, I love it. White and silver, Andrea says. Gina likes traditional, maybe some silver. Brenda, gingerbread. You could put gingerbread in the crate, yeah. Red and gold. Blue and silver, reds. Red for you, Mimi. Donna likes Deck the Stalls sign. Yeah, that's a funny one too. It's very cute. I like the roundness of it. It would sit great on a crate like this too. Okay, so now I'm going to just pop that with a bit of, let's do red. A lot of people are red lovers. I do like the reds for Christmas. And you know oh yes, thank you Gina for letting me know that. So the farm transfers are still available, and they've got some really cute pigs, cows, chickens, ducks, all of the farm animals, so that would be cute there. I think I would love to see if these little deer might fit on there. They would be cute. A deer farm, why not? Where did I put my scissors? They're hiding somewhere. I know it. They are. Before I go on with my red feature, let me see. You could even hang some of these. Again, we've got more of these gorgeous little orange decorations. They would look great on something like a crate too. You know, coming down from the tops of the boxes. Not for this one, but yeah. I just think they're so cute. Also, look at, we've got the stocking, we've got all sorts of fun things we haven't used yet. Oh look, there's the Swedish, I feel like it's a Swedish horse. If you wanted to go all out Scandinavian. They've just got the nicest red too in their colours. So, oh, this Santa face, he's cute. They're all cute. Anyway, yeah, not quite fitting on this one. But I think those deer, I think they'll look sweet next to that, even if they cover over a little bit on each side. I think looking in would be better than looking out, although they probably might fit better this way, looking outwards. It doesn't matter if their faces go over the stencil, does it? Are they the same size? That'll be great. All right, let's go with our red. Oop, and I've got Fusion's Cranberry is one of my favourite reds to use for Christmas. It's a nice deep dark red. And of course I always tend to pick up my brushes that are stained that colour. So I find my brush that's stained red and we'll use that for this. So just dipping a little bit into the pot. I've got way too much on my brush, so we always offload it onto the cardboard. So I've got a big blob right here. And I then just work that into the bristles, and offloading most of it onto the cardboard. Then when our brush is ready, I'm going to, oh, you know what? I didn't wipe it off, so it could change this to pink. If it does, we'll do another coat. All right, so I'm going to use the word Christmas, and we're going to go over that with red. Now, I am going to place the stencil in exactly the right place. This is how you do a shadowing technique. And I've put it in exactly the same place, but then we want to shift it slightly up and slightly across. Either way is fine. It can go across left or across right. Doesn't really matter. I might go across this way so that the deer's head can fit a little bit better on here. And so we're just going slightly up, slightly across, and that white will become the shadow for the words. Now, before I do that, where's my tape? I want to tape off the words here on the, so that they don't accidentally get touched with the red. Oh, Kimberly, you love decorating with red and black and white. Buffalo check. And burlap. Beautiful. Sounds very farmy. Beautiful. I love it. Oh, that's a great idea. Plus, you made memorial ornaments with an old blue plaid shirt of your dad's. That is such a beautiful idea. I love it. Tracy, yours is all primitive. Oh, I love seeing these comments. Everyone says inward for deer. Yes, we'll do that. Okay, by now I feel like my paint might have dried up a little. Let's just add a bit more onto the thing. Okay, so I've got it in the right place, shifted it up slightly across. Let's go with that. Hopefully it's dry enough, the white, where it won't turn pink. But ideally it's better if you have a really clean stencil to start with, because I was worried that my white paint mixing with that red is going to kind of turn the stencil pink. And as with most reds, you may want to do a second coat because they can be or look a little bit translucent. So it's always better to do a second coat rather than try and get more on your brush, because we don't want too much on our brush. Just giving you some basic stencil tips as we go along, because a lot of people are brand new to stenciling. And if that's you today, let us know in the comments. Are you new to stenciling? Don't forget, we give away a $20 gift card to 3 lucky winners at the end of our lives. So there's a big hint for you. Got to be in it to win it. Got to be commenting, because that's where we choose our winners from. So I'm giving you tips along the way, because a lot of you might be brand new to stenciling. And, oops, got to be careful of that star as well. So I can tell that that red, I'll just lift it up gently here so you can see how that sort of pops, and we've got that white shadow underneath it. But I do want to add maybe another coat of that red to stand out, because if we put too much on the brush to start with, thinking, oh, we're going to need better coverage, then that will bleed underneath the stencil, and we don't want that. It causes fuzzy edges and it's not a great look. So kind of wait till that first coat dries, which Fusion dries super quickly. So that'll be dry now. And then we've got our red on top, and it hasn't turned pink, so I'm thankful for that. But ideally it's good to have a nice dry stencil, dry brush, clean stencil if your paint hasn't dried, to do that shadowing technique. I hope that all makes sense. Welcome any newbies. Thank you, Mary. You're always so friendly there in the comments. Welcoming any newbies who might be new to stenciling, or you're new to rubbing on transfers. This is where you learn all your best tips. Also on any of our videos, which we upload again to our YouTube channel. And I also have some on my YouTube channel as well, at I Restore Stuff. Okay, so there we've got our Christmas on the farm, and that's really stood out nicely. Should we add green to the farm, do you think, or just leave it like that? What are you thinking in the comments? Let us know. Oh, Andrea says, even experienced people appreciate the tips. That is wonderful. I'm glad. It is good to get reminded every now and then. Sometimes we have to hear things, a few times before we switch on and get it and get where we're going wrong with something. So I appreciate it. They're saying Christmas on the farm here might be snowy. There you go. Oh, good tip from Raquel. Those 12-inch Target rounds are on sale for $5. Go grab your some, she says. That's amazing. I love the tips that you guys have in the comments here. The shadow is cool, thank you. The red and white looks fantastic. I think I'll leave it as the red and white. And it says, yes, put the green, just as I say that. A green shadow on the farm would be cute. Well, we can try it, hey? Let's give it a go. Since we're here and we've got a couple minutes left, we'll give that a go. We'll get some green. And I've got the colour Bayberry, which is a beautiful dark muted green. Love using that for our, and that's touch dry already. Because we're using so little on the brush, it really does dry very quickly. So I'm going to move my tape to here so that our farm can be seen. And we do need a little one for that star because that star is very close to the edge. So here's the word farm. We want to move it same way as we did Christmas, slightly across, slightly up. So we can even see where we've got the red on Christmas, and that would probably line that up nicely. Put that there, we add, let's get another brush. And so our line here is going to be a little bit more in that gap, but that's okay. All right. Bayberry, here we come. Offloading that onto our board. And here we go with farm, with the green. So see what I mean? When you've got a white base there, it does sort of tend to leave it, make it pop out a little bit better. Yeah, that's pretty much all in the gap, that line. So this is Fusion's Bayberry colour. So don't forget, use my code iRestore Stuff for all your stencils and transfers, and you can also use that code over at the Fusion Mineral Paint site and you'll get 10% off. Mary, you love the Bayberry too. Yeah, it's a nice colour. It does have really good coverage. This one may cover pretty well in one coat, but because I use so little on my brush so that we don't get that paint oozing under the edges, sometimes it looks like we do need a second coat. If I can still see the white and the difference between the white line sort of there, and I can sort of see some little scratches. So I might just do one more coat of that. Yeah, the white makes it pop, we say. So this kind of solidifies the stencil brushing. So sometimes when you just do that first coat over white, you'll get some brush lines from the stencil brushes, and we want nice, clean, solid coverage. So we're going to just put that second coat on there, see what we can catch in here. And we've got a nice, cute little crate with Christmas on the farm. There we go. How's that? So that would look just beautiful with some kind of Christmas tree in it. Oh, look, we were going to put our little deer on it. Yes! I think that'll look cute here. We do have a gap in here, so I'll just show you really quickly how we can adjust for that. Now this one's going to fit perfectly fine. I'll put him down a bit lower. My rubbing on tool. I'm going to rub that on. Oop. And then I'm going to get my scissors. Actually, I need some sharper scissors, I think. Just got some here in the kitchen drawer we'll grab. And I'm going to cut that through on that that line so that we can get, sorry little dear, so that we can get that right down in there. Let's see how we go getting this off. It's going nicely. If you see any bits pulling up like that, just lay it back down and rub it down again. Beautiful. Now its head and its antlers. There. I think that looks sweet. Let's try this guy. See where he's going to fit best. And it probably doesn't matter if his head goes slightly over the word, over the C. They are a bit transparent. You'll still tell that it says Christmas, so I'm not going to be stressed too much if his head's over there. Yeah, I think it'll work. So just rubbing it down here to stick well first. Get the scissors again. Cut that through. Rubbing it inside, that's why these tools are really handy, to rub those on the inside of crates and things like this. And even those other wood signs that I did, the little, the sweet treat sign. If you're using anything with slats or panels, you can still use your transfers. I've done a few larger crates which have larger gaps, and they still look cute. You still understand what the saying says, as long as there's most of the detail is outside of that gap. So it wouldn't make sense, for example, if we had a gap with where his eyes were, but because it's in that part there, it's not so bad. And they go over the letters just fine, or if you wanted to stencil over the transfers, you can also do that too. So they do well over stencils, and you can paint over the transfers, so you can stencil over the top of them. Use them as a background or something. Just as long as you be careful with your colours. So if you're going to do a dark on a light, or a light colour over a dark colour. We are almost finished, so we're going to be picking some winners soon. Don't forget. Thank you, Raquel. Thanks, Kathy. Ines says, I love it. Gloria says, beautiful. Thank you all so much. Thanks for being here too. We really appreciate you being here and sharing our lives out with your friends and family and other craft lovers who might be interested in crafting. So I like that. So sometimes I find that when I've finished stenciling and it's completely dry, the stencils feel a little bit raised. You can feel the paint raised a little bit on there, and you have to wait till it's really dry. And I just get a little bit of sandpaper and just roughen that up or sand that over, but I wouldn't use a harsh grit like I've got there. I would use something that's like a 400 grit, and it'll just smooth that down nicely. Then you can seal it, and it'll just look amazing. So I will do the sealing and everything after. I just want to let's have a look at everything we made today. We used a lot from a few different bundles. Well, we used the Scandinavian transfer. We used the Christmas on the Farm, which is available as a single set, I think. I can't remember if that's in the Classic Christmas set or not, but that bundle, the Classic Christmas set has sold out. But the Mega Bundle, there was about 12 of them left. the mega bundle. And so let me see, it's the Mega Christmas Stencil Bundle. Limited time offer. It says there's 12 left. So if that's you and you didn't get the everything, you can get that. Brenda, you ordered 7. Oh no, was it Brenda or someone else? Anyway, that's okay, Cindy. Thank you. And then I'll show you this one that we did. We started off with this one. So we created this out of the sweets sign. This whole stencil here that has so many different words on it you can use for all sorts of things. And I realised after I did this one, it doesn't even have to be Christmassy. See, we've got the gorgeous little oranges hanging there from the Scandinavian set. We did the most wonderful time of the year Christmas sign. I've still just got to, so all I do is I line this up at the back here, nail that board around, and we've got myself a gorgeous, wonderful, the most wonderful time of the year long sign. So there's that, and then we've got our crate that we just finished off with. So let me lean this one up. Have we seen any winners yet? Check for our winners. Let me know if you see them, because sometimes I miss them as we're going live here. And then we've got our crate. That would look so cute with a Christmas tree in it. We've got our Scandinavian deer on the side there, if you missed that earlier. Don't forget, use my code iRestoreStuff, because that saves you 10% even off the bundles. So you can get that, save that, or if you need brushes, pop them in, you get the 10% off as well. All right, let's see. Congrats, winners. I see that we have some winners. So I'm not sure if they're pinned yet. Oh, here we go. Congrats to our winners. Where is it? Mindy. Mindy, you're a winner. And Karen and Trish. So Mindy Burke, Karen Soria and Trish Trent, each of you has won a $20 gift voucher for Essential Stencil. So maybe you want to buy some Christmas things. Maybe you want to put it towards your Christmas mega bundle deal if you didn't get that one already. But congratulations, guys. And I will take some pictures of these and post them in our Stencil of the Month Club if you're over there. And maybe I'll try and seal them all first. So glad to be here tonight with you, and I will see you again next week. Bye, everybody.